get going with some of the questions here. This first one's from William Harrison, and the subject is, Matt Morgan is the shits. Jim, you are awesome, and I respect your opinion the vast majority of the time. However, your hard-on for Matt Morgan has always confused me. Yes, the stuttering gimmick was stupid, and he could have been used better by WWE, but he continually showed in TNA that he is the shits, and that he is perhaps the least intimidating 6'10" bodybuilder in the history of the world. Please explain.
And I can't disagree with a lot of his the assessment of the TNA run. It's not. How can I phrase this for the layman? You dumb fuck. No, no. It wasn't how great Matt ended up being. It's how great Matt should have been. Was my entire issue, that he was flummoxed from the beginning, and being around and I guess that's my fault, being around the brains at TNA that he was around, and I got him into that. It pretty much finished it off. Nobody ever had any faith in it. Back and forth, heel, baby face, what the fuck, who the fuck, what the fuck. And the whole goddamn inconsistency. But if you go back and watch, what was this guy's name that asked the question?
William.
Go back and watch. I'm sure it's somehow available. We were selling the VHSs at the time. Go back and watch his OVW run and tell me that that's not a guy that at that point in the business should have been a big star in the next 3 years. Let's say 3 to 5. He had everything. He had the size. He had the look. He had the physique. He could talk. He could cut a fucking promo. If you booked him and promoted him properly and made the people perceive him properly, he got over. In the developmental territory, where all the guys came through, for a period of about 6 months or more, and on top of the whole time he was here, but for a period of 6 months or more, he was by twice the amount the most popular guy with the fans we had on the roster. We know because we actually had them fill out papers. Who's your favorite fucking guy? And then Matt Morgan. Hundreds of them every fucking week, right? Because he had all the tools and he was coachable. And immediately, every national television run that he had, after he was basically branded a goof and a fucking stuttering fucking failure on the biggest program of all, when you just bring a guy in and expect him not to, go out and have a great match with so-and-so. No. That's not how you get Matt Morgan over. It's not how you get the fucking giant over. All the other guys go out and have a great match with him. And that's what has not been understood there's no reason with Matt Morgan looking the way he did, talking the way he did, and with the professionalism that he had for the majority of his fucking active run. If you just knew what the fuck you were doing, could you not get Matt Morgan over to at least a fucking main event extent, if not being Stone Cold Steve Austin? I never suggested he was going to be the answer to the fucking Rock. But good God, the money he could have made with The Undertaker and Kane and fucking Big Show. If they did, a 7-footer that's fucking drop kicking and had a fucking 4.0 grade average and fucking can talk his ass off, which was the rib on him when they made him a stutterer. You'd have to be goddamn blind, deaf, and dumb not to be able to get this guy over, which is, I guess I'm the only one that did it because apparently everybody else is blind, deaf, and dumb. But good God. Brian, help me.
No, I agree with you. If you watch him in OVW, you would think, especially considering some of the people they were pulling up to the main roster and trying to do something with, you would think that this is a guy that within a few years, Vince is going to see him and fall in love with him. He's 7 feet tall. He's in good shape. He could talk. I mean, that's 2 of the 3 things you need if you're a giant. You need to be in shape. You need to be able to talk. I could teach you how to work. right?
Yes, and he was doing a better job. Once again, him and Big Show, they saw him side by side. Well, there's the fucking pay-per-view. Steal a pay-per-view out of this fucking guy before you make him an underneath fucking guy from the start. Whatever the fuck. With TNA, and their shit stain was fucking right in the television at that time, but I have to admit, even Jeff, I had to try to say, just give this guy a fucking opportunity to show you what the fuck if you do the right thing here. And it was back and forth, because that's also when Matt was doing the American Gladiators. And a couple of times they wanted him to wrestler and he wanted to gladiator because it was paying more money. So there was an issue there, but good God, didn't they just pound it into the ground with him? So, I will admit that I have seen, I've smoked the hopium on some people in the past, but I refuse to understand how in the wrestling business that if he had, I could have drawn money with him if he really did fucking stutter. You fucking idiots.